Today, a spoiler-free review, the movie that provides a new meaning to the title, The Walking Dead. That movie is The Long Walk, and there is a reason why it's not sponsored by Nike or Gatorade or Foot Locker. You get a cramp, a sprained ankle, or a rock in your sock, well, it's the end of you if you stop walking. So on that uplifting note, let's get into this Movies Merica Live.
In a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies Merica.
Well, happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to the Movies Merica Live show here today, the latest Movies Merica Live show. And as the title implies, this is a live show, a live stream. And so that gives us a few perks that those pre-recorded shows don't give us. One of which is the ability to live chat on this show. Okay, so there's not too many movie review shows that give you the ability to live chat interactively with the host, and then other people in the live chat as well. As you know, the other 7 million, reviews or movie review shows on YouTube and Rumble, they're usually pre-recorded, so you don't get that opportunity whatsoever. Okay, but I wanted to give you and myself the opportunity to communicate live via the live chat about whatever movie I'm spoiler-free reviewing in this. But not just that. I mean, again, it's a movie review show, so you can live chat about any movie you want. Hell, let's make it even simpler. You can live chat about whatever you want. Okay, maybe no hate and death threats, nothing like that. But anything else is pretty much pure game right there. Oh, and another thing that I don't like in a live chat is just random people stopping in there and going, "Hey, check out my new vitamin website." Yeah, that's a dipshit move, so don't do that. Okay, but anything else is allowed because we're all about communication here at Movies Merica Live. And I'm going to talk about, of course, The Long Walk. Okay, that's what you've seen. This episode is going to be all about here, and I'm going to be talking about that with you, with my movie maniacs, with my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics out there as well. Okay, so we haven't really got started yet, so you still have time to get the link to this episode, this live episode, to anybody that you feel would be interested in this show about The Long Walk, or is into movies at all. Okay, or sometimes, hey, you're on a long drive, and you want to hear, you want to listen to a show about a long walk. Okay, and this show is mostly okay for the kiddies. Okay, I try to keep this show relatively clean here so that you can listen to it and watch it with your kids and all that. So my Thursday show, I could probably do a better job in that. But anyway, all right, let's get into The Long Walk here. And this is a movie that is based on the 1979 novel by Richard Bachman, who was really Stephen King. Okay, so back in the 1970s, there used to be these books that used to come out by Richard Bachman, and then in the years after, it was revealed that, oh, hey, Richard Bachman, that's really Stephen King here. So so now everyone knows Richard Bachman is Stephen King, and Stephen King is Richard Bachman. Okay, so kind of like everyone knows that was that not Chip Gaines, what's the Garth Brooks alter ego that he had out there? I want to keep saying Chip Gaines, Myron Gaines. Any Gaines that is not the Gaines that Garth Brooks was right there. But anyway, the point is alter egos, right? So, and this movie is directed by Francis Lawrence here, as I get all choked up over here. Francis Lawrence, who directed all of the Hunger Games movies except for the first one. And then he also directed I Am Legend and you see a little bit of the Hunger Games movies in The Long Walk, because The Long Walk does involve a story that is populated by young people, right? Okay, you got the Hunger Games, and it's all about these games that pit teenagers from the different districts in those movies. They're based on the books, and so this one is kind of the same, where all the walkers on the Long Walk are, I guess they're supposed to be young men. I didn't catch it, but I think I caught that you have to be 18, maybe not. I don't know what the rules are, but it seems like most of the walkers in this movie are, at least 17, 18 years old. But so the premise of The Long Walk here, in case you haven't read the novel, you haven't heard anything, or haven't even seen a trailer for this movie, is this is I don't know if it's a futuristic society or a alternative. I don't know if it's a futuristic world or an alternative world, okay? Because when you watch this movie, there's a lot of it looks like it takes place back in the 50s. They dress like it's the 1950s. There's 1950s era vehicles. The landscape looks like the 50s. The military in this movie, they have fatigues that look like they're from the 50s. But in the novel, in the book, it takes place in a futuristic time. So I don't know what's going on here with this one, but it's not really important to the story. But in this world, there was a great war, and in the aftermath of the Great War, pretty much everybody's poor. Okay, everyone's in poverty. I don't know why I giggle at that, but everyone's in poverty, right? Except for a few, right? And so, in order to try to restore the country to prosperity, they have this thing called the Long Walk, which is supposed to motivate everyone in the country to help them walk, here in this society, in this world over here, and so I just saw something out of my right eye that was hilarious here. I'll get to it in a minute here, but yeah. So the Long Walk is supposed to motivate the workers of the country here by it being this walk where you walk, and then if you stop walking, which everyone will, right? Eventually get exhausted or whatever. When you stop walking, you get shot dead. Okay, you get 3 warnings, right? And then they shoot you dead after the 3rd warning there. And so one person is picked from each state in the country there, and presumably the United States, because there's 50 walkers in this, and it's from a lottery. So, and now in order to even be for your name to even be in a lottery, you have to select. You have to select to be in a lottery, right? You have to sign up to be in a lottery. It's not just a lottery of everybody. It's not like the selective service or something like that. You have to sign up to be in a lottery. And so because everyone's poor, you have a lot of people that sign up to be in the lottery, right? Because they're like, well, yeah, I know there's a pretty good chance I could die, but man, what if I win this sucker? I get millions of dollars, and you get granted one wish, and that's the prize. I'm glad I mentioned that, because that's the prize, right? You get millions of dollars, and you get one wish that has to be fulfilled, no matter what you ask for, right? And so they walk, and in this particular movie, it takes 4 days from the walk. They're walking hundreds of miles, and you get walkers. They're dropping, one after one, and being killed. And so that's the basic premise of The Long Walk. But it's also it's a premise, it's a plot that is used as a frame to introduce higher ideas, right? Bigger ideas and that kind of thing, allegories and all of that stuff right there. So it's a basic premise, a basic plot, but there's more into it, more in the movie than that there. And this movie stars Cooper Hoffman, who is the son of the late, great Philip Seymour Hoffman. And you might have seen Cooper Hoffman in Licorice Pizza. It was a Paul Thomas Anderson movie and a few other things there. It's got David Jonsson, who was about the only good part of that last Alien movie, whatever that Alien movie was called, I think it was like last year. Everything else about that movie sucked. But he played that like the synthetic or whatever. And whatever. So, but David Jonsson, he's in this. He's pretty good. I got Mark Hamill. He plays like this authoritarian, blowhard, dickhead, character. So he basically is playing himself, is what he's playing. And then you got Judy Greer, and she plays the mother of Ray, who is one of the main characters, and Ray is played by the previously mentioned Cooper Hoffman there. But that's all I'm going to go into as far as the plot and the cast. There's not a lot of big names. There's no real big names in this movie. Actually, there's not one big name in this movie, I guess is what I'm trying to say right there. But anyway, hey, again, just to remind you guys that as I'm talking over here, if you're like, man, I'm just getting sick of hearing this guy yap the whole time, all right, I want to get more interactive, you can live chat. Get in the live chat on Rumble or YouTube there. And it's a very, very complicated process when you're on YouTube or Rumble of clicking on the button that says chat or live chat. And then when that button comes up, it'll just bring up a window, and that window will have a little space for you to type in whatever live chat you want, and that's it, okay? Now, no one's going to know you're in the live chat until you actually type something in there, so don't worry, okay? Just because you hit the chat button doesn't mean like everyone knows you're there, okay? Not at all, but I see we have our first live chat customer of the day here on the Rumble side, and it's my Kimosabi, my homie, Lindy Reg 87, who says, want to save an extra 10% on convenience store quarterly? Number one pick for boner/caffeine pills? Use promo code DIPSHIT at www.crazyenergyboner.org. Yes, I like that. There you go. That biting wit from Lindy Rig 87 there. And hey, make sure to, if you're on Rumble and you want to see other great stuff, other great entertainment, check out Lindy Rig 87. Just search for Lindy Rig 87 on Rumble, and you're going to see some good stuff from my man right there, because he kind of gets into, he gets some more video games and occasionally like the political stuff and that kind of thing. I think it's mostly like video games here recently. And if I've got any of that wrong, Lindy Rig 87 will kindly correct me there in the live chat. But yeah, everyone get in the live chat. Check that out. But hey, how about some more The Long Walk, shall we? But hey, before I do that though, I'm getting a little thirsty, so I'm gonna take the liberty of getting a tug off my beer here. Pretty good. And I'll be talking about this beer a little bit later right there in brew review time, which is one of the staples of every Movies Merica episode. Okay. All right. But The Long Walk, it's fascinating because it constantly alternates from a story that just as easily seems like one about just some buddies just going for a walk, busting each other's balls, talking about life, bonding, etc. I mean, half the time I kept expecting someone to bust out of, an old Milwaukee and go, hey, guys, just doesn't get any better than this here. Am I right, pals? And then suddenly, with the image of someone getting shot in the head, you're reminded suddenly that this isn't just some winsome little tale of boys out having a fun little lark. It's that recurring alternating between human relationships and horror that's partially responsible by for making how intriguing or making this movie so much more intriguing there. And it's almost better to know ahead of time what exactly The Long Walk is going in. Okay, it makes it, and I guess I should speak for myself, at least for me it did, morbidly fascinating getting to know each character at the beginning of the movie. Know all of them, but knowing that all of them but one would die in this, because there is a scene towards the beginning of the movie where they're all just sitting around before the actual walk happens, or all just, hey, what's your name, man? Hey, what's your name? Oh yeah, what's your name? Hey, where you from, man? Hey, just kind of getting to know you and all that. And so because I knew the plot, and I'd never read the novel before, but I knew the plot. It was just, morbidly fascinating just seeing all these people introduce themselves there, just knowing that they are living, all of them but one are living in their last hours here. So, and then J.T. Molnar, he's the writer, adapting from Stephen King's novel, effectively writes dialogue that lets you to let you get to know each character along the way. So when they do meet their end, it hits, man. It hits hard because they're no longer just meat puppets to you, and it puts the brutality right in your face. It doesn't hold up, or it doesn't let up whatsoever. So, and JT Molnar, if he sounds familiar whatsoever, he is the guy who directed Strange Darling last year. So I think let me double check that real quick. I think I got the name of that movie right there. It's so good I can't even remember the title of his movie. Strange Darling. That's right. You have Strange Darling. And if you haven't seen Strange Darling, well, if you want to see a strange movie, but in a good way, check out Strange Darling from J.T. Molnar there. It takes you in some very unexpected places here, and it's a lot more unexpected than The Long Walk here. But again, that's called Strange Darling. Don't let the title, dissuade you from checking out the movie. It's a good, jacked up, entertaining movie right there. But real quick here, let me remind you that as with most shows you see on Rumble and YouTube, there is, of course, a like button here, a likey button, and that is down below here. And go ahead and feel free to hit that like button if you are so inclined. And then also down there, there's a subscribe or follow button, and that is your chance to subscribe or follow if you aren't subscribed or following me already. If you already are, please don't click that again because you will unsubscribe and unfollow, and we don't want that, do we? All right, that's my psycho look. I know, not very intimidating. But then also, while you're down there clicking buttons, there's also a notification bell down there. And likely, if you've already hit the subscribe or follow button, you probably already hit the notification bell button. Or if you're brand new to the show, yeah, go and hit that like button. That's also down there as well. And that'll just simply it'll just send you an email when there's a brand new, piping hot, fresh, delicious new episode of Movies Merica coming out of the oven, especially just for you. And then to all my watchers here that aren't watching live, if you're watching a recording of this here, it's all good. It's all good in the hood. I know that not everyone can watch it live, and so that's totally okay. But I want to mention this to let you guys know that we can still communicate between each other. We're just going to have to do it via the comments section, all right, which is cool. And the comment section is down below, okay? Are you detecting a pattern here, okay? So all the good stuff is down below. All right, there you go. That's not a pickup line that I use, okay? I can't imagine there'd be a whole lot of luck that I would have if I use that as a pickup line right there. But anyway, so just wanted to advise everyone of that right there before we move on with some more The Long Walk right there, okay? And about The Long Walk, this movie does not hold back on the graphic violence. It is not saturated for your protection. It's not PG-13. It's not a lame, lightened telling of this grim tale. Okay, when the walkers are shot, it's brutal. However, the movie does hold back on the worst of the graphic violence from King's novel. For instance, in the novel, one walker tries to get onto one of the armored vehicles that's escorting the walkers there, keep them in line and make sure none of them escape and that kind of thing. And one of the walkers, just because he's so exhausted and so psychotic, this long walk just exhausts you so much that you go crazy. And he tries to run up and get up on top of one of the armored vehicles and is shot so much that his innards are literally falling out of him as he continues to try to walk there. And the character that happens to in the book still does meet a similar end in the movie, but not in as a grotesque way. Also, one of the walkers must have had a bran muffin before the walk, So make sure that you're not scarfing down your movie popcorn during this particular scene, all right? Because, yeah, let's just say there's some evacuation happening there, okay? And it's laughable in a macabre way how the long walk is portrayed, just the actual event of the long walk in the movie, especially by the Major, again, played by Mark Hamill, as some sort of exercise and honor and admiral distinction, like storming the beaches of Normandy, where in reality, it's really just something that comes from our basest, least enlightened place. It's the same place within humanity that led people to enjoy watching Christians get fed to the lions and the Roman Colosseum. In other words, moments in which the mob loses their humanity totally there. So it does not come from a good place there. It comes from that place where you just have to scratch your head when you realize like what human beings can do to each other, right? It's not pretty, not at all. Okay. Now, what is pretty though is this next segment right here, and this is a segment that you can literally drink in, and that beautiful segment is brew review time. All right, so let me introduce you to the brew for you for this particular brew review time. And that is a little Oliphant Brewing Rusket Red Wisconsin Red Lager. And I've reviewed this before, but I just thought it was good enough to come on and review it there again. Okay, so some beers, they're so good, they get an encore. They get another appearance on the Movies Merica Live show. And this brew comes to us from Somerset, Wisconsin. Some of you music lovers, some of you concert lovers might know Somerset, Wisconsin, because there's a big old music venue up there in Somerset, Wisconsin. And as the can says, this is a Wisconsin red lager. It comes in at 5% on the alcohol by volume scale there. And they describe it as like a malty beer with like a dry, nutty flavor there. It does have a kind of a nutty flavor to it, and it's got an appropriate bitterness to it, but not too bitter. Okay, you're not going to be puckering or anything like that, like you're sucking on a lime or anything like that. Okay, you're not going to get fish lips or something like that because it's so bitter whatsoever. And it does have like a slight sweetness. It's kind of got like a caramel notes, caramel, however you say it. I'm going with caramel. Or I'm going to say caramel. It's got caramel notes in this beer, in this here beer, and it gives it just the perfect amount of sweetness to it. And so it's as you can tell, I am recommending this beer. Like I said, this beer is good enough for it to make an encore appearance here on Brew Review Time. And it's light enough here where, if you are just, sitting on your patio and, listen to some, classic jams, and you just want to cool down with something because maybe you just crawled off your riding mower and you are just exhausted and beat by the heat. So you can do a whole lot worse than grab yourself a Rusket Red to cool down in that situation. Or hey, maybe you're zipping around on a lake, on your boat there or whatever, having a little pleasure cruise on the lake, and you want to cool down a little bit with something. Rusket Red, you can do a lot worse there. So, and I'm not getting any money from Oliphant Brewing whatsoever. It's a totally objective, totally impartial. This is a totally impartial review of this brew right here. So, if it sucked, I'd tell you. But believe me, I would. I mean, if you watch like past episodes of Movies America and other brew review time segments, yes, I do not shy away from saying whether a beer blows chunks or not. Okay, so I would actually much rather have every beer taste fantastic, but it's just not the reality. Okay, but anyway, enough yapping about this beer for me. I'm going to take a drink off this bad boy right here. Let's get a little Wisconsin red lager up in me. All right. Fantastico. There we go. But yeah, Rusket Red, Wisconsin Red Lager. All right, get your hands on some. You could probably get your hands on some like via like the Open Bar app that you can get on your phone. I think it's on both iOS and Android as well. You go like drizzly.com. I think that's still a website. Uber Eats will deliver booze to your place as well. So yeah, you got a number of possible options there to for getting your hands on some Rusket Red here, because I don't want to hog it all for myself right here. I'm feeling generous, and I want you to be able to taste the Rusket Red right there. Okay, but with that, let's wrap up this brew review time. All right, let me take care of a little house cleaning right here, and let's do this. Pardon me. That's the nature of the beast sometimes when you're drinking some brew and, you're doing a show, and, since it's a live show, you just, sometimes might have some not so proud moments like a beer burp there. But anyway, so I don't know how to segue to this next thing here from that, so I'm not even going to try to bother. But I wanted to take a minute or two to let you know that we do have Movies Merica merch. Okay, so if you want a T-shirt that kind of looks like what I got here behind me, the old poster there, we do have some T-shirts with the Movies Merica logo, with some beer mugs on it, and you can find that via the Movies Merica merch link down in the description there. Okay. And so then when you click on that link down there, you're going to see that there's much more than just Movies Merica t-shirts there for Movies Merica merch. Okay, we have Movies Merica shot glasses, pint glasses, smartphone cases. You got jewelry. You got yoga pants or something like that. Okay, now we here at Movies Merica, we do not endorse you wearing yoga pants if you are not worthy. Okay, so if you are 4'7", but you weigh 312 pounds, abstain, please abstain. Okay. Like, I'm not going to wear a Speedo or a banana hammock because I'm not in shape for it. And even if I was, I would never wear anything like that. So I am practicing what I preach. Okay. There you go. But anyway, but you're going to find so many other things that we have the Movies Merica logo on if you go to the Movies Merica store there. Again, and how to get there, the Movies Merica link down below, I should say, right there. And then if you put in promo code movies in the promo code field after you get all the goodies up in the shopping cart, you are going to get free shipping. Okay, whether you buy $10 worth of stuff or $10,000 worth of stuff, which, wow, that'd be a happy early Merry Christmas if somebody got in there and ordered $10,000 of Movies Merica merch right there. And if you're going to do that, well, ahead of time, God bless you. God bless you. Or I love you embracing your inner capitalist. That's for sure. But again, yeah, get in there and put in that promo code movies. Get yourself some free shipping there with the Movies Merica merch there. All right, so okay, let's move on here and get up in some more. There we go. And okay, Charlie Horns plays here up in the live chat on the Rumble side. And hey, Charlie, good to see you. Says he's got some good advice here. He's got a good question here. Need 1,000 followers? Join the Discord at www.clownpenis.farts. I love it. I love it. We got the boys' locker room going on here in the live chat. There, I'm hereby dubbing the Rumble live chat the boys' locker room, and I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it. So, and some random thoughts about The Long Walk. The first random thought I have is this movie reminded me of movies like Stand By Me and Saving Private Ryan. The latter, because Saving Private Ryan later turns into a story where, you got men, they're just walking together, talking all within a land of horrors that they're walking through. So they're just sitting there, just chit-chatting, just bonding, while all around them are just this horrific warscape going on all around them there. And then the camaraderie in The Long Walk is reminiscent of what we saw amongst the boys in that 80s adaptation of another Stephen King novel in the former movie, which was Stand By Me. There, because if you remember by Stand By Me, it was River Phoenix and Will Wheaton and Jerry O'Connell and Corey Feldman was in that movie. It was just young boys just going on, and I was about to say adventure in quotes, but it is an adventure, right? And that Stand By Me is a classic movie from the 80s, directed by Rob Reiner. And but yeah, so this movie did remind me a lot of those two movies, Stand By Me and Saving Private Ryan, with just different aspects of the movie. And then also another random thought about The Long Walk is there are some gut-wrenching scenes in this when people die. And the score from a composer by the name of Jeremiah Freites, if I'm saying that last name correctly, really helps that come to fruition. It's an appropriately moody score until it rises with the rise of intense emotion in some scenes, and reminds you that you are dealing with God's creatures with souls and wants and desires and loved ones. So all that to say is maybe pick another movie for date night. Fair warning. You'll be thanking me later on there, most definitely. Okay. So, all right, let's do this here real quick. Let me double check and make sure I've got everything all in order here. And I just wanted to let you guys know that this is not the only show that I do. I do the Movies Merica spoiler warning show, and that comes on Thursday nights. And what that is okay, like I said before, this is the spoiler-free review show, right? Trying not to spoil this show or spoil this movie whatsoever. But on Thursday night, that's my spoilery show. And that doesn't mean like I'm just going to go out of my way to spoil the movie on Thursday. But if one just kind of slips on out the old pie hole, well, hey, so be it, okay? Because this is a spoiler-free show. Thursday night is a spoilery show. And there's been some time between when I do the spoiler-free review and when I'm doing the spoilery show on Thursday night. Also, on top of that, I literally put spoiler warning in the title of the show, okay? So you are forewarned. Don't watch the Thursday show if you haven't seen the movie if you're worried about it being spoiled. Now, if you don't care about it being spoiled, or you're not going to see the movie or whatever, hey, watch to your heart's content. Actually, even if you are worried about it being spoiled, you could do me a big favor that costs you absolutely zero money, okay, and very little effort. Just start the show up and then just mute it. That's all you got to do. So a lot of people that watch the show, they don't have a chance to see the movie, as early as they would like. What they do is they still turn on my Thursday show on like some laptop, like in a back room or something, and then they just mute it. Okay. And, and maybe they have like 2 or 3 laptops, right? And they'll just go in there and they'll very easily, they'll just fire up the show, start it up, and they'll just mute the show on all 2, 3 laptops. That helps me out because it counts as watch minutes. Okay. Rumble, YouTube, they're none the wiser. They're just like, oh, this is somebody's watching the show. And okay, there you go. Hey, hey, Van, hey, movie, we're going to give the Movies America show credit for these watch minutes right there. But at the same time, you don't get the movie spoiled for you. So it's a win-win. And again, it's absolutely free to you and very, very, very minimal effort whatsoever. Okay. So I appreciate that. If you want to do me solid like that, I definitely encourage that. But probably would help if I told you what time the show comes on Thursday, right? So that comes on at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, and 4 p.m. Pacific time there. And that's the Movies America Spoiler Warning Show this Thursday night. And, of course, it's about The Long Walk. So I'm going to do a deep dive, going to bust out the scalpel and the section. Let me try that again. The scalpel and the suction, okay, as we do an autopsy on The Long Walk. And what an appropriate word for this movie, because this movie has a lot of death. Okay, so now we're probably not gonna need to do an autopsy on the people that die in this movie because the cause of death is obvious, around to the dome. Okay, and that's what happens in this movie. But check out, this Thursday night show. That would be fantastic. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your Uncle Frank, tell your grandma Mabel, tell that boss you hate. There you go. Well, maybe don't tell your boss you hate because you don't want good things to happen for him, right? You don't want him entertained or her entertained, right? So if they watch the show, they're going to be entertained. It's going to be a good thing for them. So you don't want good things to, for them. So maybe, let me back that up. Don't recommend this to your boss. There you go. Okay. Now, one of the flagship segments of every Movies America live episode, that the show that's on Sunday, is my segment where I tell you if this movie is a woke after school special. All right. And so that begs the question, is The Long Walk a woke after school special? Not that I can make out. Okay. Matter of fact, one character tells his life story, and that life story, it really is worth listening to. So his life story is, so he says that he used to be full of rage and he used to pick many fights until he finally picked a fight with the wrong dude. And he got a knife in the face for it. So he's got, a couple of scars on his face and also and elsewhere on his body. And ever since that horrific, attack or horrific, event in his life, he's disciplined himself to bond with people, to see the good in people, to treat people well, even if they don't necessarily return the favor, right? So he's not that aimlessly violent man he was before. Now, he says that it's not easy to do that. He says it's damn hard. It's real hard to do it, and to be that way, but he does it. And I think that lesson told through his character is something that many could learn, could learn from in this intensely hostile time that we currently live in, especially after the assassination and martyrdom of Charlie Kirk, which, as of me live streaming this, was just a few days ago. Okay. Stop looking for reasons to commit violence. And what I mean by violence, I mean real violence, not that malevolently calculated concept of words being violence. Okay. Words, let's get this straight right now, right here. Okay. Words are never, repeat, never violence. Okay. A bullet to the neck, that's violence. Fist to the face, that's violence. Words, never violence. Okay. Period. Okay. So, this movie is not a woke after school special. And on top of that, it's got a good life lesson that many could learn from. And that's good, right? That's very, very good. This movie is not just entertaining, it's educational. There you go. I love it. There you go. And if that word educational is not a word, well, it is now. Okay? So let me tell you that, if you are appreciating this episode enough to where you maybe want to throw a buck or two my way, or 5 or 10 or however much, right? You can most certainly do that. Okay. Now that's only if you're compelled, only if you want to. I know if you rightfully don't think I deserve it, I totally understand it. Totally understand. I respect that. But if you do want to throw a buck or two, then you can do that on either Rumble or YouTube. And the way you do that on Rumble is if you get in the live chat, down by where you type in your live chat message there, if you like to type in the live chat message in there, down by where you type that in, there's a button with a $ on it, and you just got to click on that button with the $ on it, and it'll just bring up this other little window, and it'll just ask you how much you want to donate. Now, if you've never used that before, it'll ask you for like a bank account to pull the money from, and that's it. And so when you click on the $ button, it doesn't automatically take money out of your account. You have to go through a couple more steps to do that, but very easy, very easy. So that's how you do it on Rumble. Now, if you're on YouTube, it's very similar, very similar. So in the live chat window, down by where you type in your live chat message, just look for a button that has a $1 bill on it. That's what it looks like in YouTube. When you click on that $1 bill button, It'll bring up a window, okay, similar to the way it works in Rumble, where it'll ask you how much you want to donate. Again, if you've never done a donation through there, it'll just ask you what bank account or whatever or credit card you want to use to donate, and that's it. Okay, so I think it's bank account or credit card, I think is what it is. So, but anyway, so very easy. Okay, but again, hey, I can't always afford to do a donation or show some financial gratitude or appreciation whenever I watch shows and whatnot. So I regret that. I wish I did, but I don't always have the capability to provide some financial support with every show. But hey, in case you do, with this show that you're watching right now, that's how you do it. There you go. So just wanted to provide those steps there for you. All right. So my final thoughts on The Long Walk is I would check it out at the theaters. Like I said before, I would not make this a date night movie. Okay. It's, I don't know, you any kind of romantic inclinations you might have had for later on, it might get killed by this movie. Okay. So, and that's kind of the point of date night, right? It's a date night, and then maybe a little later on, a little horizontal refreshment, right? So, but I think this movie will definitely kill those inclinations right there. It'll kill that drive. And if you're out there with your special lady, with your man, and you want to continue that Marvin Gaye sexual healing vibe going on, don't see this movie because it's going to kill the sexual healing. Okay, you're gonna kill Marvin Gaye again. Okay, so I would not recommend this for a date movie. But outside of that, it's a good enough movie to go check out at the theater. Okay, now don't take the kiddos. Okay, this is a graphically violent movie, and so yeah, you don't want to have to send your kids to therapy after seeing this movie. Okay, you might think like the $500 you're spending to take your 3 kids and the wife to this movie is real expensive. Wait till you have to send all your kids to child therapy for 10 years because you've warped and twisted them by seeing this movie right there, and you'll be asking yourself, was it worth it? I mean, was it really worth it? Was it worth it to warp and twist Aiden, Jaden, and brains there? I don't think so. There you go. So don't take the kiddos, don't take the urchins to this movie right here. Okay. So as we get ready to wrap up this episode, I don't know why I said we. I don't have multiple personality disorder, but as I get ready to wrap up this episode here, just want to ask you if you would follow me on all the platforms that I'm on. I'm on platforms like X and Facebook and Gab and Rumble and Instagram. And the consistent thread between all of those is I'm there under Movies Merica. I know. Makes sense, right? You're probably saying, oh, what else would you be under on those platforms like Rutabaga 6969? Like, no, of course. I would be there under Movies Merica there. And if you like, say for instance, if you go to any of those platforms, there's multiple Movies Merica accounts on there. Feel free to follow me on all of them because I know on Rumble there's 3 Movies Merica accounts, and obviously the one with the most followers and the most content on there, that's like my main channel. Yeah, follow that if you would. But there's a couple of other Movies Merica channels that are mine too. They're both mine. So if you would follow those as well, that would be fantastic, and I would be much appreciative. I would thank you very much. And then also, hey, just so you get something out of it as well, because I don't expect you just to follow me and not, have me deliver back. What you can do is if you go to my X account, which is under @MoviesMerica, and you DM me or direct message me, let me know in my DMs. Like, let me know, hey Van, I followed you on this platform, that platform, that platform, that platform, and I will follow you back. Okay. Now, you probably want to give me like your username, your account name on all those platforms so I can follow the right one back. But by all means, do that. Now, if you don't know how to DM or direct message somebody on X, it's very simple. If you just go to my @MoviesMerica account, and then up towards the top, there's a envelope button. And you're just going to click on that envelope, and that's how you direct message somebody there. So, yeah, get something out of it for yourself. All right, there you go. I wouldn't blame you for doing that. You scratch my back by following me on all these platforms. I'm going to scratch your back in the most non-sexual way possible. Okay, there you go. All right. So, okay, we are getting around. I said we. What is that all about again? I'm getting ready to wrap up this episode there. Okay, but again, I want to thank everybody that's watching live. I want to thank my bros here that were live chatting here earlier. Charlie Horns Plays. Check out Charlie Horns Plays on Rumble there too. He's got great content. He's got good, entertaining stuff on Rumble as well. And then again, I already mentioned Lindy Rig 87. He's got good stuff on Rumble as well. All right. But all right, hey, everyone have a fantastic Sunday. If you guys are watching this live here, if you're watching a recording of this here, first off, thanks for watching and how you doing, and recommend this to other people. Just simply send the link to anybody that you even suspects likes movies. There you go, okay? But with that, everybody, get out there, people. Those movies aren't going to watch themselves. See ya. Howdy, my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics. Would you do me a favor and check me out at solo.to/moviesmerica? That's where you would go for a one-stop shop for all the links that have to do with me, Movies Merica. And then also, if you want to check out the audio-only podcast versions of my Movies Merica live episodes, that's my spoiler-free reviews that I do on Sunday, you can go to moviesmerica.com or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, places like that. And then, actually, if you would also check me out on the social media sites like X and Instagram and Facebook and Gab. And I'm on those locations all under @MoviesMerica. So it is very easy to find me out there, all right? So get to it, everybody. All right, thanks for watching. Later.
Hey guys, don't leave the video quite yet. Okay, I've got the popo. They're coming after me, and I don't have much time to tell you, but you need to like and subscribe this video right here down below. It's right down there. It's just waiting. It's waiting for you down there, okay? And make sure you watch these videos over here too. You'll be doing me a big favor. I'll be in handcuffs pretty soon. All right. Thanks for watching.